Alright Seahawks Nation, starting another news roundup here on the channel with more updates on our Seahawks. Welcome to another episode, always bringing you the latest news. This is Charles speaking with you. If you're new here, subscribe to the channel, you'll stay well informed about the Seattle Seahawks and help support me with a like. It really helps me out, motivates me, and strengthens my work here on the channel. Fans, let's start with the latest update coming in. Guess who's paying a visit to the Seahawks? None other than Toney. That's right, the wide receiver who used to play for the Chiefs and is a two-time Super Bowl champion. Field Yates from ESPN dropped this info, and it's driving people crazy. But hold on, there's more. Remember how I talked yesterday about some changes to our practice squad? Well, Brady Henderson from ESPN confirmed it. We've released Max Percher and Kyon Barrs from the practice squad, and also let Butta Jones go from the injured reserve. Pay attention to this detail. Percher was part of the International Pathway program, meaning he didn't count toward the 16-player limit on the practice squad. So why release him? Could they be clearing space for Toney? Let's talk about Toney for a bit, because this guy has a story. He was the 20th overall pick in the 2021 draft, starting with the Giants before moving to the Chiefs. People thought he'd break out in Kansas City, but it didn't go quite as expected. Check out his stats. In 23 games with the Chiefs, including playoffs, he made 48 receptions for 390 yards, averaging 8.13 yards per catch, with 4 touchdowns. And here's more, he scored a crucial touchdown in the last Super Bowl, helping the Chiefs win. But not everything is roses. Toney has struggled with injuries and hasn't been performing as expected. In 2023, he was one of only 3 receivers with fewer than 40 targets and 4 dropped passes. That's worrying, right? Let's think about it. We just released Easop Winston Jr. to bring in Jaren Hall, that quarterback I mentioned yesterday. Do the Seahawks think they can give Toney the push he needs to get back on track? We already have 6 wide receivers on the main roster, with only Cody White on the practice squad. Could Toney be that missing piece in our offense? Do you think Toney could bring an extra spark to our offense? Or is it too much of a risk? Comment below. Continuing with the updates, we've got more news on changes to our practice squad and some very interesting visits. Let's go, it's a lot of information. First, let's talk about our main roster. Remember those cuts we made last week to get down to 53 players? Well, that group is still intact, no one's left. But our practice squad? That's a different story. The NFL Transaction Wire, the official league source that announces all roster moves, dropped the bomb. Defensive tackle Kyon Barrs and offensive lineman Max Percher have been released. But here's an interesting detail. Percher was an International Pathway player. This means we're going back to having 16 players on the practice squad instead of 17. One less, but still a lot of players. And there's more. Butta Jones, another defensive tackle, was released from the injured reserve. Looks like we're clearing out the position, huh? But it's not over yet. We're expecting more moves on the practice squad before Wednesday's practice. And you know why? Because the Seahawks have hosted 7 players for visits. And guess who's on that list? Toney, that wide receiver everyone's talking about, and Josh Love, a quarterback who was playing in the UFL. Could reinforcements be on the way? Oh, and to top it off, remember Raekwon O'Neal, that offensive lineman who was with us? Well, he's back with the Buccaneers. He signed with their practice squad on Tuesday. He started his career there, came to us, and now he's going back. It's like the prodigal son returns, right? What do you think? Are we making room to bring in new players? Who would you like to see on our practice squad? And could Toney be coming? Comment below. Fans, as we wrap this up, we're less than a week away from our first game of the season. Let's talk a bit about what's happened recently and what we can expect, shall we? First, let's remember what we've been through. Nearly 24 practices during training camp, 3 preseason games, and another extra week of preparation after the roster cuts. Phew! That's a lot. We've got a new leader. Mike has taken over as head coach and will also be the one calling defensive plays. That's big. And guess who we're facing on Sunday at Lumen Field? The Denver Broncos. It's going to be intense. But let's talk about something that's been on my mind since last year. Remember that 2022 was the first year without Bobby Wagner as our defensive leader? Yeah, that left a huge hole. So much so that many people campaigned for his return this year. I was watching closely to see if a new leader would emerge. And guess what? Looks like we found one. Tarek Witherspoon, that second-year cornerback, is really standing out. The guy's always communicating with his teammates and coaches, talking about plays, concepts, and corrections. It seems like he understands this new defense under McDonald very well. And here's something interesting, both rookies and veterans are gravitating toward him. When Witherspoon speaks, everyone listens. When someone makes a great play, he's there celebrating. And when he makes a play, it's a party. There's more. Before preseason games, when the starting defense was introduced, who was out front? Witherspoon. That used to be Wagner's role, see the importance? And it doesn't stop there. In McDonald's scheme, Witherspoon is playing all over the field. He's lining up as an outside cornerback, in the nickel spot, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see him as a safety in some situations. Witherspoon's versatility is going to be a huge weapon. He's going to make an even bigger impact than last year when he already made the Pro Bowl as a rookie. Are you excited to see this new defense in action? And what do you expect from the game against the Broncos? Comment below in the comments section. And hey, if you liked the video, don't forget to hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel, it's really important. We're in this together, thanks for everything, and go Seahawks.